pleasure to be here in this community today. We celebrate International Women's Day, a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for a celebrating gender parity, celebrating women's achievement, raising awareness about women's equality. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Tamia for hosting this event. I'm really thankful to have her at Ngozi Talk Show team. Mostly, I thank all the speakers who are leading today at Ngozi Talk Show. Thank you so much, ladies, for actually taking your time and be here today. So over to you, Nadia, please. Nadia, what's happening? Giselle, over to you, please. Can you go first?
Sure, no problem. Thank you. And happy International Women's Day to everyone, especially my co-panelists. Happy International Women's Day to you. It gives me great pleasure to speak about this phenomenal woman in my life and in no other person than my mom. And for many reasons, we all have different relationships with our mothers over the years. But I think when we become adults, and we reflect on, okay, this is really what it meant to be a mother and to raise a young woman in this world. I really can't say no. I appreciate her. Her name is Claudette Alain, and I am from Trinidad and Tobago. She is from beautiful Trinidad and Tobago as well, but we don't see each other as much right now. But when we communicate, I feel that sense of gratitude every time I communicate with her, especially as I face the challenges of being a wife, of being a woman in this world, of going through different seasons and transitions in my life. I can truly say that I am indebted to all the lessons that I have learned from her. And two in particular, my mother is a minister, and she is a woman of prayer. And growing up, I would always see her praying, having that sense of communion and communication. And growing up, I would never really understand or place such an importance on this activity of prayer. And it's really only upon embarking on my career and going through the challenges of being a professional woman, I really took that mechanism as my own and really made it a part of my life. And I can truly see that whatever you might be facing in life, if you have a mechanism where you can become centered again, where you can just quiet yourself again, I think it's a great tool and a great thing to incorporate in your life. As women, we face so many challenges. Everyone wants a piece of us, as it were. But if you have that time where you can just quiet, get quiet. And for me, that is what the tool of prayer is. Get quiet, Giselle. Get focused again. And I owe that to my mother. She taught me you need to quiet yourself in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the busyness. You need to find a space where you can just get quiet again so that you can continue your journey. Through this tool of prayer, I learned strength. I think that inner strength is what has me going today as I face health challenges, as I face different types of challenges, as I said before. Life equals challenges. You can't divorce challenges from life. And so I'm grateful to her for giving me and teaching me and modeling, not only telling me, do this, but she modeled a life of prayer, a life of devotion in front of me. So today I can stand and say, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. So I call her name again today, Minister Claudette Allain, and I celebrate you today on International Women's Day 2021. Back to you, Nomsa. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Giselle. Over to you, Nadia. She's back now. Sorry you got cut off.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm sorry I lost internet. I'm on my mobile phone internet. Hopefully it's gonna work. So, hi everyone. My name is Nadia Dubil. I am body intelligence coach, and I have my own academy where I teach people how to be themselves. And of course, today we're celebrating the most wonderful, powerful day for women, International Women's Day. And I really love what you said, Giselle, because to be honest, I was gonna talk about some a wonderful, brave woman who's an activist, and she puts her life into danger every single day following her heart. But I decided to change it last minute and talk about my mom because it's just, we always look outside of ourselves and far of ourselves. And we don't notice people around, basically our close people to ourselves. And I realized recently that I don't appreciate my mom enough, and I don't thank her enough, because it's thanks to her it's who I am today, because she taught me so many beautiful and powerful lessons about life and relationships. And I believe that these are the most important foundation in life. You really, before you go out there and make a difference in the world, go into some profession and create your professional life, you really have to master yourself, and you have to master how to create a beautiful and wonderful home. And that is what I learned from my mom, because she taught me that I have a heart, and the most important thing in life is just to create this beautiful and loving home. Because what she did, she sacrificed her whole life, which I didn't see for a very long time, for her family, for my brothers, for me, and for my dad. And she spent all life basically looking after us. She didn't look after herself because she was always there for us. She was always there for my dad if he wasn't well, for my brothers, for me, for her family. And none of us, we saw it. And until recently, she finally started to look after herself, which is so wonderful to see. And I learned so much from her. She's the strongest person I've ever met. She taught me how to be strong and indestructible, and be there, doesn't matter what. She told me about morals and principles. She told me how important it is to have some kind of ethics that guard your own life. Because of course we cannot just rely on government and other people. We really have to know our own boundaries, and that's what she taught me. She taught me how to be independent, because I learned it from her. She's the strongest woman I have ever met in my life, and I'm just so thoroughly grateful for her, that she is, she's still here, and she's, doesn't matter what is happening in her life and how low she feels, she never actually let us see how soft and vulnerable she is sometimes. And that's what she taught me as well. It's not only about being strong and being independent and just creating these beautiful, wonderful things, but also to be soft and vulnerable. Because she taught me how to love myself and how to love other people. Because she's the most caring and loving person I have ever met. And I'm so grateful for my mom, really. And I'm so glad that I actually noticed that. I started noticing her and seeing her love for all of us. And my mom, thank you so much for everything. My mom doesn't speak English, but I will tell her, I made a talk for her, because she's the most inspirational woman, because she created who I am today, so I can better the world. I can do my own what I love, basically, because she told me how to be passionate about life and family, and look what's next to you first. So a lot of people are trying to get out there and heal the world, help other people, a lot of coaches, but they never look, they don't look around themselves, what kind of home they have. I'm not talking about parents and families, not necessarily, but what kind of home they have around them, because that is true reflection of themselves, of ourselves, what is around us in our closest proximity. And if whatever is not in your closest proximity is not the way you want it to be, it means that you have still some healing to do, some work to do on yourself. Because when you're really strong within yourself, that's when you can get out there and stop hurting others. And a lot of people don't see that. There's a lot of self-awareness and inner work that needs to be done first. And yeah, that's what I learned from my mom as well, just to create a loving home. That's very important. And just to make sure that this home is, you can trust, there's trust, loyalty, and love. So thank you, my mom, and thank you so much for listening. And I'm not sure if Dr. Bridget went, already spoke. Okay, so I'll pass it on to to you, Dr. Bridget. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nadia. Thank you for sharing the beautiful about your mom. She surely sounds like a wonderful, wise lady. And I love what you say about life and how life is has a lot of challenges. Life is about challenges, Giselle. And thank you for allowing me to be here with you. I am Birgit Tan, and I am a grief transformation and life success coach. And I'm here to help you bring the best of yourself into this world and create a life that you love even more. And today we have an invitation at this show today to share what does it mean International Women's Day to us, and to share about a strong woman. Well, to me, International Women's Day is to celebrate women and gentlemen and everyone else is in between, because at the end of the day, we cannot just be on all women or just all gentlemen. To celebrate each and every one of us. And when I was invited to honor a strong women in life, I look at that very closely. And and the question is, who do I would love to honor and celebrate? Well, if you like to, I invite you to join me to go and get a mirror. To get a mirror, or if you don't have a mirror with you right now, to get your phone, get it on the camera mode, and put it on the selfie side. Now look into that. Look at the mirror, or look at your phone in the selfie mode. That is the woman that looking back at you is the woman I celebrate and honor, the strong women that I celebrate and honor. You, my friend, you are a strong woman. Why? Because we know that if you make it to today, even if right now you are just become a woman, just 19 years old or 18 years old, you have been through life enough that we know that you are strong, that you are just like this diamond here, a beautiful, wonderful, brilliant diamond that you're going to continue to shine. And just like a diamond, with every wrap, every cut, it make it shine brighter. So would you. So you are a strong woman, and I celebrate you and I honor you, and I appreciate you very, very much. And if you are a gentleman watching this, then you are also wonderful and brilliant and strong. And the strong women is the next women closest to your heart that you can join me. I invite you to join me to celebrate as well. And what about one particular woman? Well, there are a lot of women inspire me. My mother, my spiritual mother, and then there is also this lady here. Her name is Cynthia Kersey, the founder of the Unstoppable Foundations. Why Cynthia's inspired me? Because she is a wonderful example of turning adversity into something so much larger. She experienced life hardships when she late in her 40s, and from there, instead of being bitter, she chose to turn her anger into a work that helped thousands of people, women, children, men in Kenya. that's by now helped hundreds of villages and thousands of people being able to have water, sanitation, educations, income, and so forth, and doing that in such a way where everybody would say it's impossible. Cynthia not only make it possible, she make it happen in such a wonderful short time. So she's inspiring to me, and you perhaps has somebody else's that's inspiring to you, and that is so wonderful. I invite you, a strong, wonderful, beautiful women that you are, regardless of what conditions that you are in now. Perhaps you are in a condition that you don't particularly like. Well, you know that just like a diamond, every wrap, every cut is only to help you become more brilliant and beautiful. And so I invite you today to join me to celebrate you and to celebrate everyone whom you care, you love, and everybody in this world all together. Thank you very much. And over to you, Shireen.
Thank you, Birgit. And oh, that was so beautiful. I think what was so wonderful about that was really to remind us to reflect back at ourselves and see ourselves. And I think very often we don't do that. And it was lovely to hear Nadia say, you know, sometimes we see everybody in everyday life and we don't appreciate them, you know, and I really appreciated Giselle's one talking about her mother finding the place of peace where we come together. I think it's so very important to start first, recognize that we ourselves are important in this way, but also then to recognize that we are only here because of those that came before us. And so I really want you to appreciate that, you know, right from the very start, from the first cell, the first creation on this earth, they all strived so that each and every one of us, every mother before us, has been and suffered and struggled so that we can be here today. And that's the bit for me that is so empowering about Mother's Day, is that it's about remembering so much this people from the past on whose shoulders lifted us so that we could catapult into our future. And that's so exciting because this is what we're doing for people, you know, for their futures as women on the planet. And for one of the things that I really would love to talk about is my grandmother, who is one of the people that probably, you know, a long time ago, most people that have passed, we don't think about that much. But my grandmother was, she was at the time when Kimberley, I don't know whether anyone would know, the Big Kimberley hole was dug. The diamond diggers dug the Big Kimberley hole in South Africa. And my grandfather was on that digging for diamonds there. So it's so beautiful that Birgit talked about cutting away of the diamond, cutting away of all that isn't there so that brightness can shine out. And what was really interesting about my grandmother was that she, at about 40, after she'd had her kids and she had lost a few children at the same time, she decided to go and teach. And she went and taught music in an Afrikaans school, not knowing a word of Afrikaans. And she ended up being one of the favorite teachers in that school. And everybody just loved her. And she worked there until she was 80 years of age. And she only left because she fell and broke her leg in 3 places and her arm in 2. So she came to live with us. And what was really amazing is she said, everyone would say, well, you know, you have to slow down. You have to slow down. She said, give me 6 months. I want to go back to work. And the doctor said, but you're never going to be able to walk without a stick. You're never going to really be able to walk. And she said, you don't tell me what I can and cannot do. Let me tell you what is going to happen. And it was so lovely to see somebody that was so powerful get up and walk and really do the things that she wanted to do. And for me, I think that's the really important lesson that she gave me, is that it's never, ever too late. Never too late to fulfill your dream. You know, you can, even if you're 70, you can go and do a degree, you can go and do whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to allow yourself to believe in it and to believe that it's possible. And I think historically, women have felt very much in the space where we have been suppressed and not been able to live our best lives. Well, we still get caught in those prisons, you know, when we have a belief that we can't, even if the world is there opening up for us. So I think what I want to bless and give to everyone is just remember, it's never too late. You will be able to find your way. There are people here now in the world where it can be possible. And we have communities now in the world. So it's just about understanding that as women, we work together collaboratively and we can uplift each other. And for me, that is the greatest gift that we as women have, is this ability to hold and this ability to build and grow each other. So I invite everyone on this day to be thinking about that in them. Where can they grow someone else? Where can they grow themselves? Where can they grow their community, their system, their way of being, so that each and every one of us lift someone else up? Thank you, Nomsa, for having this great program. And I really feel blessed to be with everyone that's here today, just to share in this. And I'll pass you on now to Carol Ann.
Thank you, Shireen. I just loved how you said about your grandmother was just, don't tell me what to do, you know. That just gave me tingles. I could feel that inner strength in her. And it's like, yes, good for her, you know, because she then showed them. And it never is too late. And I think that's a really powerful message that you shared there. And it is looking at that and finding it within yourself. And as Dr. Brigitte was saying, to get that mirror and look at that inner strength that you have, you know, because we all have that within us, even though we think that we don't. So thank you. That just saying gave me goosebumps. It's lovely. And sounds like a real character, you know, your grandmother. So, and I just love her pioneering spirit, the way she just went off and, you know, she couldn't speak the language, just did what she wanted to do, you know, and changed lives because of it. And is still changing lives through you sharing about her. And so I'm Carol Ann, and as the writing facilitator, what I actually do is I support women in actually becoming more productive with their writing by connecting them with their deeper innate ability to write. But more importantly, they find free-flowing writing. They experience free-flowing writing. They experience an unlocking of the writer within, an unmuting of their story, so that they get their book written, they get their story written, because you cannot publish what isn't written. And all of this has come about through my own journey of unlocking the writer within. Now, for you, I don't know what International Women's Day for you means. I'm sort of hearing different stories. But for me, what it is, it's like it's time, a day to be able to reflect, to celebrate the power, the beauty, the strength, that inner strength, and the resilience of women. And to acknowledge how far we've come. To acknowledge our sisters, the women who have supported us, who have shaped us and given us the strength to continue or to find new direction in our life. But also it's that time to reflect, well, how much more is there to do, and not forget that there is still more work to be done. And I just love the theme of this challenge, this International Women's Day, which is choose to challenge. And that's exactly what Shireen's grandmother did. She challenged the norm, you know, what they were saying to her. And because challenge does create change. And for me, there was a lady who she challenged a decision that was being, or a choice. She challenged how her basketball-sized tumor in her womb was going to be treated. Brandon Bays chose to take herself off and look inward, to use her tools and techniques that she had, but to dive in, to use and communicate with her own body's inner wisdom, to use prayer and as Giselle was saying, that power of prayer, that power of going in and being still, being quiet and listening. And she unlocked her body's own healing genius. And through that time, she actually pioneered what's called the journey. And she came up with 2 journey processes. There's a physical journey and there's an emotional journey. And this lady has also written a book called The Journey. It actually tells about her story, and it's also got the 2 processes at the back, which allow for you to actually experience them. This is the greatness of her heart, is that she allows you to experience this work. And she knows that when you're ready, you'll go to her seminars, her workshops, to dive deeper. But that work, what I'm really grateful for in knowing her all these years is her attitude. Her attitude has always been one of, well, what's the lesson I can learn here? Being grateful for the experience, no matter how crushing it may have been. She lost her house to the fire. It just got completely burnt, all her belongings. And even though the journalist was trying to get her to say some, really sort of break down about it, she was just looking at it and just going, being grateful for and finding the gratitude in it and rising above that. And for me, I've used her tools, and I'm really grateful for that work because it's allowed me to dive in, to find that peace, that forgiveness, and that harmony within me. Because if you can't find that within yourself, it's not out there in the world. It has to be inside first. And I've watched her grow and go around the world with this work, from country to country. And it has been phenomenal to watch. And I feel privileged to be a part of it. And so this is where I feel part of the story in helping other women to find their story, find their voice, because now is the time to shine. And I'd just like to leave you with a quote by Charles Malik. The fastest way to change society is to mobilize the women of the world. So come on, ladies, let's be mobilized. Find your voice, find that peace and harmony inside through gratitude, forgiveness, and then you will see it out there in the world. So I'd like to, Nomsa, I'm aware you haven't spoken. Are you sharing?
Yes, please.
Yes, so Nomsa, I would really love to hear what where you're at and what you've got to share with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carol. And what is the woman again, the lady you were talking about?
Brandon Bays.
If you please can
Jenny.
after the talk, if you can write her name at the bottom of the video, because
Yes.
I like to go and buy her book. It sounds very very interesting. Her story, how
is.
she finds healing. Basically through faith. I'm that kind of a person where when I go to the doctors, when the doctor tells me you have this, I don't believe it. Basically I say, okay, let me go pray about it. And I remember going to the doctor once, and this doctor was from South Africa, and my daughter had called and she was like, do you want me to tell you the truth? Antibiotics don't work. Everyone seems to think they work. And she was like, go and do this for your daughter, she'll be fine. I took her advice, and she was like, but I didn't tell you that. I give you the antibiotics, but everyone thinks they work, but they don't. So thank you so much for that. And Giselle, your mom, how amazing is that to actually speak about her the way you speak? Very proud daughter. She must be very very lucky to have you, and she's a minister. Thank you so much for the woman who raised her to be the person that she is today, because you are who you are because of your bloodline. So thank you so much to your mom as a minister that has taught you to have faith, to have strength. And Nadia, thank you so much. Your mom, I know your mom, you say she doesn't speak English, but she can feel the love that basically you've just poured, that love, appreciation, and that gratitude about her. And thank you so much for that. She must be a very very proud mom to have you as her daughter. And Shireen, your grandmother, I'm a grandmother's fan, big fan. I'll be talking about my grandmother. So thank you so much. Are you from South Africa?
I was born in Zambia, actually, and then I went down to Zimbabwe and then to South Africa.
Oh my goodness. So we have a history. Okay, so where your family is about in South Africa?
Somewhere in Kimberley, and then somewhere in Johannesburg.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have family in Cape Town, KwaZulu-Natal, and Johannesburg. So thank you so much for that. And so thank you so much for your grandmother who stood for what she believes in. I like women who stood for what they believe. So thank you so much. And Dr. Biget, I was so touched with your talk. I didn't expect that. For actually you to ask every woman to hold on to their screen and see themselves and basically value ourselves. So thank you so much. So for me today, I'll be talking about my grandmother. My grandmother, basically, she's a woman that raised me. I would love to talk about my mom, but the trophy goes to my grandmother because my mom and my dad divorced when I was very young. So my dad is a man that he believes that a children should be raised by their father. So my mom had to make a decision to actually leave us with my grandmother and my dad. They both worked. My mom and my dad, they both worked. So my grandmother agreed that she looked after us, and my mom knew that she trusted the woman that is gonna raise us. You know, when you go and visit your mom, but my main home was my father. So I give her that trophy as a woman that she raised me to be who I am today. And I remember at the age of 6, she used to have a conversation with me. I see parents in this generation, when they talk to their children, they don't treat them like human beings, like it's like a control. But my grandmother never treated me like a child. She used to communicate with me. She used to talk to me, and she divorced with my granddad, and she used to talk to me about her divorce, how things went. And she was a very very proud woman who was very proud of her marriage, even if she wasn't with my grandfather. She spoke highly of my grandfather, and she spoke highly of my mother as well, because she wanted me to know that even though I don't live with my mom, but the situation is my bloodline is very, very important for me to live with my father. And she made sure that I understand that. She was like, you need to understand that your parents, they love you very much, and your mom loves you very much. And she was basically making sure that I was okay, making sure that my mom was happy. She loved both my parents. She never took side, and which is, I am the person that I am today because of her. And making like unconditional love is something that she taught me. She was like, you can have everything in the world, but if you don't know how to love somebody, if you don't know how to love, then whatever you have has no meaning. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you are from, but you need to understand that love comes first. You have to be humbled. She used to remind me all those things, that whatever, even if I change, my life changes. We had a home in the city. I loved living in the village. Village was my favorite city because I can listen to my grandparents talking to me. So for me, she taught me faith. She taught me how to have hope. When nothing is working in your life, Nomsa, hold on to hope. And she taught me that no, don't let anyone tell you your dreams are too big or too small. If you want to be a cleaner, go and do it. Life is a process. When you are doing the cleaning, when you are doing what you're doing, you're gonna figure out. By having faith, by having hope, God will guide you through your life. So basically, and she taught me to focus on things. Whatever I do in life, if I didn't listen to her, I can tell you today, I wouldn't be here today. Because there are so many people that looked at me when I made a decision that I want to do this. People would tell me that, no, you are having a joke. There is no way you can do it. There is no way you can travel to the UK. But I knew who I was, and I knew who I wanted to become. So for me, I would say to every African person who is watching this video, it doesn't matter how poor you are. If you believe in your dreams, if you believe in the person that is within you, you can become who you want to become. Only you have to believe it. The people that are around you will work around what you believe in. So that's all I want to say today. I want to say thank you to my grandmother, Zale Nyele Ngube. She's an amazing woman. She's not with us today. She passed away 2010. So I just want to say, Grandma, I love you very much. And I thank my parents for allowing her to actually step up as a grandmother. She was young, she stepped up and she was like, I look after the kids, you guys can figure your life out. My mom remarried, my father remarried, but my stepmother never stopped becoming a mother to us. So thank you so much, Grandma. So everyone has spoken, guys. I just want to ask Giselle, if there was somebody right now who is watching the talk show, what advice can you give them for them to actually I know there are some parents, there are some children, when children are growing up, the parents they try to guide us to the right direction, but we think we know it all. So if there is somebody right now in younger generation, what advice can you give them that your mom gave you that led you to be where you are today?
How can I just choose one? What can I say to a young person listening? The thing is, we have to understand about experience, and we have to understand the importance experience plays in our lives. At the time, and I love how Nadia said, at the time, you don't appreciate what they are telling you because, you're old, you're a fossil, you're a dinosaur, I'm young and fresh, I know everything. And I think I could identify, I was a bit of a know-it-all.
Yeah.
But with her patience, my mother's patience, she would always explain explain, you have to understand that I've been this way before, and so I can direct you how to avoid certain pitfalls. That's why I'm telling you. So that's why when I speak to women now, I say you have to see and recognize experience. So I see that in all of you ladies on this panel. And I say to myself, you know, I have to take some notes from the lives of these ladies because they have gone on some journeys that I have not yet gone on. And if I were to start that journey, I can remember what Caroline said. I could remember what Nadia said. I could remember what Dr. Biggett said. I could remember what Shireen said. So young people, understand that parents, guardians, whoever is in authority over you, they have gone this way before. And if I were you and I want to be smart and I want to live a strategic life, pay attention to what they are saying. Only in hindsight you realize. But we here today, we're trying to save you from realizing it after the fact. We want you to get it now. Pay attention, take notes, avoid certain pitfalls in life so that you can have the dreams that Nomsa spoke about. You could realize those dreams, yes? So that's the advice I would say. Pay attention to the words of advice given to you. Don't let the folly of youthfulness, yeah, make you think, oh, whatever. And then when you're older, only realize what they were saying. It's true. Pay attention now. Pay attention now. I could only refer to what I believe, and all through the biblical text, you see references to young people, and in the book of Proverbs, it's a beautiful book. It's just a book of instructions, really. And it tells you about paying attention while you're young. Paying attention while you're young. And if we put that into today's context, there is a program called Secrets to Successful People. That's one of their secrets. They pay attention to the expertise around them and they apply it so they don't have to go down that road. It's just life, it's just sense. Pay attention to experience, apply it, and realize those dreams in your life. That's my advice today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Giselle. Over to you, Nadia. Please, what advice can you give any woman who is watching this talk show and the advice that your mom gave you and that led you to be where you are today?
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I was just reflecting and wondering actually before the show who are all the speakers are going to mention. And it's so wonderful that we mentioned grandmothers and mothers instead of, mentioning, all this, one other people, but we really look at people that we truly love and are close to us, our family. And I was just reflecting as well, because the truth is that when I was very young, I was so against my mom. I just didn't want to listen, basically what she's got to tell me. And actually, I left home when I was 14, because I was just in a big conflict with my mom. And because, she was telling me what to do, all of this stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want to have the life my mom has, because what I saw in her, at my home is that my mom was like a slave, because she spent her whole life in the kitchen serving and doing all of this, basically everything, spending her whole time not looking after herself but everyone else. And I didn't appreciate that until I turned of the 30. I started to notice the importance of love and home, how important home is. So it just, like today, when I'm only recently I got into a wonderful relationship, only because I realized the this important lesson that my mom told me. It's not about freedom, liberation, running around the world and saving the world, but the most important thing you can do is just to look at yourself and your surrounding, and how how your life reflects to you. That sometimes looking into your heart, your own heart, basically. And when I realized that my mom was right all the way when it comes to putting home and family first, everything changed in my life. Because I was running, my life decision before were based on fear and running away from being becoming that slave again. But when I realized that she did it what she loved, she did it out of love, not because she was forced to do it. Started a wonderful relationship, and now I'm creating a wonderful home myself. And I'm doing exactly what my mom is doing. Being passionate. I don't mind cooking, cleaning, and all of this stuff. and it's and it that's what creates life and connection. And when I know that my partner loves me and supports me because he feels loved and cared and nurtured by me, because that's what feminine energy does. It's nurturing. Everything changes around me, and I lose attitude, I lose ego, and everything. And just I love life because of that. So I'm really, really grateful for my mom to make me realize that creating loving, wonderful home out of care and nourishment and love, not being a woman on a mission to save the world, it's the basic step and the most important step I can take. So thank you, Mom, and thank you, everyone, and so wonderful to listen to all of you ladies. It's so great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nadia. Dr. Bigot, please, anything that you would like to give to our audience regarding your mom, the important things that she taught you to be where you are today?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Numsa. With my mom, one thing that she always emphasized in me growing up, I grew up very privileged, and many people focus on the material things. My mother always tell me over and over again to invest in myself, invest in my mind, invest in my heart. There's no bigger investment and better investment. And she always give example, look, all these things can goes away and all this material can dissolve and all this. But if you have yourself, if you grow your mind and you continue to grow your mind, and if you grow your heart and continue doing that, regardless of what's going on in the world and regardless of what's going on in life, you can lose everything, and you will just look inside and grow things better and faster and easier. And I love what Giselle and Dia shares, in particular Giselle sharing that we don't want we want to learn from other experience. That's something Mom tell me as well, from other people experience. And so know this, that if you say yes, it's wonderful that I'm a strong woman when I'm looking in the mirror, and that there is a diamond in me, but right now I don't feel that way. Right now I don't feel that I am a strong woman. We're here for you, the whole panel here for you. I'm here for you to help you become an even more brilliant diamond of you. So feel free to reach out to us, because we're all in this together.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. Over to you, Shireen. Your grandmother, if anyone is listening today, they'll be like, wow, tell us one thing that your grandmother taught you. So because you are here today, there must be something that your parents taught you and your grandmother as well. So please.
Well, thank you, Nomsa. I think my grandmother would have really appreciated listening to such wise women over here. I think for me, I just really loved to hear Giselle say, tell young people to pay attention. So many of us want to help people not experience the pain, but sometimes it's really kids want to be able to experience that, and that's the way it is. But maybe the thing to ask and say to them is really ask the question, why why are you giving me this advice now? What is it that's in this advice that might be pertinent for me? And but I also love to just kind of say to people is that, whenever I have a client come up, I always say, you have, if you have anything, if you have pain, you have to pay attention, because if you don't pay attention, you'll always experience pain. Pain is just the body's way or the mind's way of telling you to pay attention. So it's really, there's something, if you're not experiencing any sense of peace, then you have to pay attention. And that's the key thing that you've spoken about, Giselle, which is so important. And I loved that Nadia was so much about her home and her family. And really, I think what my granny would have said is, we can only change the world one step at a time. And the first step is us. The first step is us. So we have to work on ourselves, and the world will fit around us. Yeah. And I think that's very often what we, when we're younger, we're always looking at the outside world, and we're forgetting that the inside world creates the outside world. And so I think my gran would say, pay attention to what's inside you, focus on what's inside you, focus on making sure that you feel that peace, because when you feel the peace, everything else around allows everything else to settle. So it has this ricochet that goes through the world. So for me, I think I would tell everyone, one, pay attention. Just notice. If we don't, then there's going to be a consequence to that. And, are you willing to have that consequence or not? Which do you want? And, really, and maybe to also say to mothers or anybody that wants to give someone advice, to just kind of say, well, I know I'm giving you this advice, but why might I be giving it to you? Tell me what you think would be the reason, because the whole thing with younger people is they don't verbalize in the way they need to verbalize, and they don't actually hear you. So just say, okay, so I'm saying no. What might be the reason that I am saying no? And immediately you often get, well, I might fall in the water, or I might do this. And you go, okay, that's true. And then you can say, and then you just ask, and they'll say, okay, what I'll do is I'll make sure I do this, this, and this, and this. So already then they give themselves the direction. So then we've helped them in that particular way. So for me, that's a really important gift, is maybe not so much share too much of your opinion, but ask someone first, can I share it? And why might I be asking you this question? Why might I be sharing it? So that they get a sense of your perspective, because while they're in their body, they can't. So that would be, I think, what my granny would have done. My granny would have absolutely, because she always used to say, well, I know you don't believe me, but why might I tell you this? And that why always got me to look at the consequence of my action, of why that might be. So that's where the learning came. I was able to take it and I was able to hear it. So, yeah. So I'd hope that would be something that would be very useful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. Over to you, Carol Ann. Please take the stage.
Yeah, it was lovely. And I love the way, pay attention now comes into it. It's like that theme that runs through. And as Shireen was saying, yes, if there's pain, pay attention to that pain, because it's telling you something. And for me, it's like that. If something is happening, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So it's just shifting that thinking. And as I was explaining or sharing with my granddaughter just recently, when she was in a very low place because of things that were happening, that she just felt she couldn't carry on with what she was doing. It just seemed pointless. And I was saying to her, well, just be in the moment and become the observer of how you're feeling. Become the observer of it, of what is happening. Don't be taken over by it and let it run you. Because if you can become the observer of it, you can then look at it and go, okay, so what's the lesson that's here for me to learn? How has this come to help me grow? What is it coming to teach me that means I can grow from this rather than shrink and shrivel, but can grow from it? And it's overcoming those challenges with gratitude, because you think, well, what is the lesson here? And be grateful for them, no matter how painful it may seem at the time. And I think what's key is actually listening, because listen to your body, listen to what other people are saying to you, listen to their experiences. Does it mean you have to take it on board and do it? No. It just means listen. What did they learn from it? What could you learn from it? Is that going to work for me right now? Or is it something that I could just make a note of, put aside, and pick up maybe at a later date? Or no, that doesn't work for me. But listen. And know that actually, if you come from gratitude, that people are wanting to support you, to serve you in a way such that you can grow more quickly by them sharing their experiences. So you don't go into those pitfalls, but you can rise more quickly. Because gratitude, actually, as we were saying the other day, it creates happiness within you. And happiness helps you to heal. And if you feel happiness and you heal, it shares around the world. And I just love to leave you with something that Nora Ephron said. Above all, be the heroine of your life, not the victim. So thank you, and back over to you, Nomsa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here today. And I'm looking forward to seeing every woman that is here today and touching people's lives. I'm looking forward to see you guys touching millions and millions of lives and through Ngozi Talk Show. And I appreciate you, Shireen, for being here, Carol Ann, Nadia, and Dr. Bigot, Giselle. Thank you so much. I had to call you guys by names so you know one day when I'm on stage calling you by names, you'll remember this day. So thank you so much, guys. And I do appreciate our community that are supporting us, and hopefully if there is a woman who is watching out there, they'll believe in themselves and they'll believe in the things that they want to do, and they'll pay attention, because that's what Nadia, that's what Giselle, pay attention, and that's what is sticking with me. And Nadia, the younger generation, not listening to their parents, and I hope they will look at your life and say, you know what, I'm gonna listen to my mom and create my own story how I want it. And thank you so much for that. And live with grace, everyone. We are here Monday to Friday in Ngozi Talk Show, 1 p.m. UK time. So if you love the message that is in this video, press the heart button and share some love with your friends. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, everyone.